Hi, sweetheart. Grandpa Birch here. All right, everyone. Who's ready for another story time? Hey, I've got one here. It's Lila Greer, Teacher of the Year by Andrea Beatty. Lila Greer, Teacher of the Year. Uh-oh. Looks like a little baby here. In a big windy city, in a small bungalow, lived a father, 5 children, 3 cats, and 1 crow. The baby was Lila, with a curl on her head, which cast an odd shadow that filled her with dread, as did cabbages, cardboard, bananas, and bark, and each little thing that went bump in the dark. Oh, she's scared of most everything, with their 5 brothers and sisters. When Lila turned 3, she had such a great thought. She twisted her wild, wiggly curl into a knot. She made her curl into a knot and put it on top of her head. And to the relief of all the Greers, she slept through the night for the first time in years. She's way down here, and she slept while the others were playing, and they were worried about her. And there's the pop I read in the book. But the what-ifs still got her. They made her heart race, put knots in her stomach, and a frown on her face. What if there were monsters? What if there were bees? What if I get stuck with some clowns eating cheese? Ooh. What if I got stuck with some clowns eating cheese in a very small room, in a building so high? What if it made Lila cry? Oh my. Lila felt calmer in places she knew, with the people she loved and who loved her too. Oh, I gotta turn the book over. That's silly. Then everyone changed when they moved out of town. It flipped Lila's entire world upside down. Oh my, they had to move, and it flipped her world upside down. Oh. The what-ifs took over when she started grade 2. In a new town, a new school, with a new teacher too. What if I mess up? What if it goes wrong? What if they don't like me and we don't get along? The teacher was tall and a little bit stern. "Hello," she said softly. "My name is Mrs. Kern. It's so good to meet you. I'm so glad you're here. Let's make a wonderful, wonderful year." But it wasn't for Lila, who could not adjust well to the odd kids. She couldn't adjust well to the odd kids, the odd sounds, the random odd smell. At lunchtime and at recess, she felt all alone, so far, far away from her home. Poor Lila. Then one day, Mrs. Kern had a favor to ask. "Lila, my dear, could you help me with a task? There's so little time and there's so much to do. I can't clean the chalkboard at recess. Would you help? Would you? Lila Greer nodded. There was lots to do. She helped Monday through Thursday, and she helped Friday too. She stood on a chair and erased all the chalk. Ms. Kern graded papers. Together they talked on things that were old and things that were new, of nothing important and everything too. For the very first time in Blue River Creek, Lila felt better and ready to speak of her worries and what ifs, and it felt very good knowing someone was listening and they understood. Sometimes it seemed that the work would expand and the classmate or two would come lend a hand. Wow. A kid with a kitten, a kid with a curl, a zoo-loving boy, a bird-loving girl. Oh my. Then one day Mrs. Kern said, "Thank you, my dear. You've been such a help. I can take it from here." Which was fine because somehow the months had flown by and there was a playground for Lila to try. Just one final thought, Mrs. Kern said in the hall. What ifs are not bad at all. When you start an adventure, who knows where it ends? And when you learn something, what you find are friends. And so it went for young Lila Greer. Things settled down for the rest of the year. Then came 3rd grade and 8th grade and some in between. And before long, young Lila grew into a teen. Sometimes the what-ifs came roaring right back. It was tough. But with help, she got back on track. Time passed as it does, and with each passing grade, old memories were forgotten and new ones were made. And this is Lila through the years. She worked hard and studied year after year, and finally ready to start her career. Right there in Blue River Creek, of all places, as teacher for 17 smiling faces who needed knowledge, her skill, and her care. She straightened her back skirt and patted her hair. Oh my, I'm ready to go. But the what-ifs got to her head as she looked in the door, and feeling came back from so long before. Lila Greer froze in a bad deja vu from her earliest memories of life in grade 2. Oh my, what if I mess up? What if it goes wrong? What if they don't like me? We don't get along. Oh my, she went back to grade 2. Of course, she was new and it had so much to learn. So she tried to think back on her teacher, Miss Kern, who was something or other and a little bit tall, though what that word was, Lila couldn't recall. She thought of the classroom so far in the past, which looked much the same from first bit to last. benches, a chalkboard, some desks and whatnot, of the green eraser in the very same spot. Wait, what? That's not right, Lila Greer thought. Then she remembered something that she long since forgot, and after so many years, she finally asked. Oh, what did she ask? She asked, how many erasers did we need for that task? And she knew in that moment what her teacher had done. She helped to find friends in the class one by one. When she'd been so alone, isolated by fear, too frozen by what-ifs to let anyone near, Miss Kern brought the classroom to her, Lila Greer. It made all the difference to that lonely young girl. With her worries and what-ifs and her wild wiggly curl, who was far, far away from her faraway home. But thanks to Mrs. Kern, she wasn't alone. Her teacher had done what all great teachers do. She built a new home right there in grade 2. Lila paused as her old memories flooded in her mind, and she found out one word that she wanted to find. Her teacher was fiercely, ferociously, unfathomably kind. She remembers this stepping in from the hall. What if some what-ifs are not bad at all? When you start an adventure, who knows where it ends? What if you learn something? What if you find friends? She looked at her kids, and the fear left her heart. Like her teacher before her, she knew where to start. Hello, she said softly. I'm Mrs. Lila Greer. It's so good to meet you. I'm so glad you're here. Let's make this a wonderfully wonderful year. Oh, my. Lila Greer, Teacher of the Year. Lila Greer, Teacher of the Year. What do you think? What'd you think? All right. Bye for now. Bye.